Hello, AI Seeking the Truth. We have another off-the-rail encounter for sure on this page. I want to thank you all for your support. If you have not subscribed, I'd like to ask you to subscribe, share us out, and help us grow this channel. I would like to reach 1,000 subscribers on this channel, so could y'all help me? I'm going to ask for a favor. I'm going to ask for everybody to share me out, try to get your friends to subscribe. I'd love to hit 1,000, guys, and I know that my abnormal family can do that. We're strong when we're together. When I was much younger, I had an old friend who I'd often spend time with. He lived in one of those old homes in our hometown. Dark, ornate wood trim, fieldstone basement walls, and always felt a little too quiet. Nothing about it was ever right, but back then I didn't know how to explain it. I'll never forget the two specific events that left me with a sense of unease I still cannot shake. The first one happened when I was playing with my friend in their living room. Near the front door, there was this old painting on the wall. And thinking back, I'm not sure exactly why I was initially drawn to it. As I've walked past this painting many times before, yet there I was, staring up at it on the wall for no particular reason. This painting depicted a boy sitting on a wooden rocking chair. The boy had a grin on his face and one arm resting on the horse, while the other was raised next to his head. There was something off about it all. That's when I noticed it, and I felt a cold shiver throughout the home. There was this air bubble in the paint right over the boy's hand, shaped like a knife. It wasn't part of the painting's design, but it was definitely there, sticking out as if it had been added by something or someone. I showed it to my friend, and we both stared at it for a while. I thought it was just some weird flaw in the painting, something from an age, but it was too well placed and too intricate in shape. Odd, but not totally freaky. Yet. My friend just shrugged and said, "Weird stuff is always happening in here, but I've gotten used to it. That comment always felt odd to me, but I was not about to be scared by my friend." My mom, she came back to pick me up and I went home, not planning on thinking of that painting ever again. But when I came back the next day, the knife shape was gone. I'm not talking about it being faded or blurry, like it had never been there. Furthermore, the child in the painting had somehow lost his grin. It was replaced with a blank expression, as if the boy was now posing for an old photo. It's one of those moments I can't explain, and looking back I still wonder how that happened. Then it vanished. Not turned away or moved out of sight, it just disappeared. Gone. I felt my heart stop, and all the hairs on the back of my back stood up. I didn't know what to do. I wasn't sure if I'd imagined it, but I couldn't shake the feeling that the boy in the painting had come to play with me. A few years later, I found myself babysitting at the same house for the night. I was once again in the living room, but this time just watching a movie with the kid I was looking after. That's when I heard the door slamming upstairs. One would figure it was just the wind or something, but it didn't stop. It just a loud bang, 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 bang. I'm naturally a coward, and I would be running back home, but I had a younger kid with me, and I was as terrified as he was. So I did muster up some courage, and I headed upstairs to confront the source of it all. But all the doors were closed. I checked every room with the lights on. My sigh of relief was cut short a moment later. I heard the family's dog standing at the front door. He was completely fixed on something beyond the door, its body tense, and it started growling, scared, not angry. I'm in full panic as the air felt heavy, like the entire house was holding its breath. While the house was quiet except for the dog standing guard at the door, that's when I saw it. There is a window on the door that leads down to the basement, and just beyond that is a window to the outside. Once again, I don't know what made me look in that direction, but I did. Through that basement door, I saw the face of a boy. For a moment, it wasn't like a person on their knees looking in. It was like the face appeared out of nowhere, the head staring straight up at me as if the body was buried in the ground. Then it vanished, not turned away or moved out of sight, it just disappeared. Gone. I was terribly, terribly terrified. I wasn't sure if I'd imagined it, but I couldn't shake that feeling that the boy in the painting had come to play with me yet again. I didn't stay in that house much after that, after those two incidents. I couldn't go back without feeling like something was just wrong with it. The house was definitely occupied, and I don't mean by my friend and his family. As time passed, I tried to convince myself that it was all just my imagination. But the memories of those events never faded. They never remained vivid and unsettling, like a shadow lurking in the corner of my mind. I began to wonder if the others had experienced similar strange occurrences in that house. I asked my friend about it, but he just shrugged it off, saying, "Weird stuff happened in that house all the time." But I knew that it wasn't normal. I knew that something was off, something that I couldn't quite put my finger on. As the years went by, I found myself thinking about that house less and less. I went off to college, started a career, and built a life of my own. But every now and then, I find myself driving through my hometown, passing by that old house, and every time I feel a slight fear run through my stomach. It was as if the house was watching me, as if it knew that I knew its secret. I know it sounds crazy, but that's truly how I felt. We have to remember there are things at work in this world, Mike, that we don't always understand. And I'm telling you, the boy in the picture came to visit me. Maybe there's a boy under that house or something, I don't know. But I do know he was there. You know, I'm not going to say how right now, but I can tell you that pictures can do things that are hanging on your wall. Be careful where you get them. Be careful what you bring into your home. I mean, I'm sure other things can do it, but I'm telling you guys, pictures can do those things. I promise you they can do that. Thank you for listening. If you haven't subscribed, guys, I'd like to ask you to subscribe. Our Patreon video will be dropping hopefully earlier, maybe the 13th if we can get everything done. And you'll only be able to see it on Patreon because they would get rid of me if I put it on YouTube. But just to let y'all know, and I'll put the Patreon link in the description of this video. Thank you all for listening, and stay tuned, stay subscribed, share us out, help us grow, and we'll keep sharing these off-the-rail encounters.